We have officially entered the year 5781 in the Jewish calendar. And you know what that means? TikTok, motherfucker, you've only got a couple days left before the Book of Life and Book of Death are sealed for the next year. Welcome back to And God Was Like. I'm your host, Ariel Kaplan. This week I'm getting into Parshat Ha'azinu, which means listen. Listen up, y'all, because this is it. Moses' last poem before he takes a shit. It is a poem/song that God dictates to Moses to put in the children of Israel's ear or mouth. Shove it in every orifice possible. This song is read on Shabbat Shuvah between Rosh Hashanah and Sukkot. Dvarim is thought to be written during King Josiah's rule. He created this golden age in the land of Israel by re-establishing national and religious independence post breaking free from Assyrian control. Now, the Song of Moses is thought to be included in the second edition of Dvarim/Deuteronomy, and it's supposed to be a reaction of Babylonian exile. I think we need a little music to get this Song of Moses poppin'. I don't know if that's the right vibe. Moses calls on the heavens and the earth as witness to the covenants. I want you to learn from your history. Ask your dads, ask your elders. They'll tell you about the generation at the Tower of Babel. God found you in the desert. He swept down like an eagle who protects his offspring. God alone guided you. This is the end of the past section of the song. And now we're gonna go into the future. Ooh. This part of the song is a prophecy from God about how the Israelites are going to turn their back from him and just be a shit nation. So the Israelites arrive at the promised land. God sets them up with like Michelin star restaurants, and then they grew fat and greedy. A lot of fat phobia in this text, which I don't love because I did go to fat camp. God is like, y'all weren't loyal, and so I turned my back from you to see how you fared. Maybe you get a little jealous. God's plan fails. The Israelites don't give a fuck. They double down and they continue whoring themselves out to false idols. So God is like, bet I'm gonna destroy you with a nation of fools. So my boy Sepharno says that the generation during the first temple aroused God's jealousy because they practiced idolatry, aka a classic case of cuckolding, and God punishes them by allowing the Babylonians to destroy the first temple. God is speaking and he says, I tried to discipline them, it backfired, and I got so motherfucking angry, my fire burned to the bottom of Sheol. Sheol is the last level of purgatory, and that's where y'all are gonna end up if you don't get your name signed in the Book of Life. So God's fucking pissed, okay? Poppy, that's my dad. If you're watching, I'm really sorry for all the curse words, but this is like a very heated poem. He says he's gonna unleash demons onto the Israelites. The demon that God is talking about is called Ketev Meriri, and there are two types. The one that God is talking about in this instance comes in the afternoon, and the other one comes in the evening. Which kind of Ketev Merir are you? Your enemies will seek to destroy you forever. Your wine is the poison of dragons. That sounds amazing. God bottled it up and he stored it up in his cellar, so he has not forgotten. And even though the Israelites have forsaken the covenant, God says when we're at our lowest low, will he save us from our oppression, our misery, and our plight. This is like a very toxic relationship, right? Right? God is going to be like, where are your whore gods now, huh? And then he'll use the sword that he sharpened to attack the Israelites and stab all of our enemies in the back. God says, I will make my arrows drunk with blood from the long-haired enemy chiefs. They sound kind of hot. So this is kind of the end of the poem. Moses grabs Joshua, his successor, tells him the poem, and then Moses tells the Israelites, tell your children this story. Worst bedtime story ever. By the way, every single word in the Torah means something. It's like a big puzzle. I hate puzzles. God tells Moses to look at the promised land before he dies, just like his brother. Did Moses do teshuvah before he died? Is that basically what the book of Dvarim is about? Rabbi Eliezer says, yes, Moses did, and you should always repent one day before you die. How do we know when we're gonna die? We don't, and that's why we have to repent every single day of our lives. So this prophecy sounds really scary and accurate. I think it is a way to reinforce the monotheistic religion that is Judaism by scaring people into thinking that the reason anti-Semitism exists, the reason that we were in exile is because we weren't following God. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know that the dates and everything are a little bit fishy, and don't be spooked out. Here's the message that I really want you to take away. Consider your past, but we are not stuck in it. Just repent, repent. The power of Christ compels you. Sorry, I got kind of New Testament-y there. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this week's episode. I'll be back next week with some more hot content.